Hello, everybody. Welcome to the XBS CHEL Show, Season 26, the awards edition. This will most likely be the last show of the season until Season 27. So we wanted to bring you guys the awards in this edition of the show. Introductions this week. We have myself, of course, back again with Chill Town. So Chill, say hello.
Hey guys, what's up?
And Krim couldn't make it with us this week, so we have Mentis filling in for Krim. So Mentis, why don't you say hello to everybody?
Hey, everybody.
All right, so just quickly, some league news first, and then we'll get right into the awards. The league survey is still open, so if you haven't done the league survey yet, please do it. It will close on Tuesday, December 24th at 11:59 p.m. So please, if you haven't done it, try to get it done before that date and that time. Season 27 registration is open. You can sign up right now. Currently, we have 58 signups, so that's really pretty good. It seems like guys have really jumped on it and signed up. So again, signups are open. When you do sign up, remember your player card. You need to be as accurate as possible. What you put on your player card is a huge factor during the draft when owners come to building their teams. And once the draft begins, you cannot alter your player card. So you can do it now. You can go on your player card. You can change whatever you want now. But once you are drafted, you cannot change that player card. You have to play the positions that you have listed.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Now, yeah, Chill. I know I mentioned you guys. Do you want to talk about the importance of the player card when you're as an owner?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, knowing how many, how often someone can play is crucial, and then also positions are helpful as well. So I know you can click on your preferred positions, but sometimes it gets a little, like if you have 2 stars on everything, it's nice when someone puts, I only want to play these two, or I prefer this order. That helps a lot in the drafting. And to your point about not being able to change it after, that's also just out of fairness, right? So you don't want someone putting, I'm only going to play left wing, and then all of a sudden there's somebody starting goalie for the rest of the season. So that's something that is important to keep fairness and keep the owners aware of what's available.
Mm-hmm.
I just wanted to piggyback off of what Jill said. It's there's some players in the league that are really special at certain positions. They are also good at multiple positions. So if there's an event where someone is mainly a great defender, but they put wing this year, I think it's important to at least put a 1 star for that defender, because the draft order and your selection may be based off of the position you choose. So if there's nothing starred, the intent is that you're not going to play that position at all, even if you think you will. So if not a position you prefer, but you think you will play, just at least throw a star on it. I know when I was owning 2 seasons ago that you kind of have to gauge the stars a little bit differently depending on if it's 3, 2, or 1. But I would just always stress if there is a point or chance that you would actually play that position, and at least throw a 1 on it.
Yeah, I would say especially even like goalie. If you have any inclination that you could play a couple of games in net, then reflect that on your player card, because goalies are always in high demand. So that's something too. I would mention about that. Okay, so let's get to the awards. This is what everybody's waiting for. Let's get to these awards, and we'll start off by we'll congratulate the XBSHL championship champions, the San Jose Sharks. Krim and the rest of his crew there in San Jose had an excellent run in the playoffs. We met up with them in the finals, and they were just too much for us. I mean, the games were close, but they were just too much for us to handle. So I want to send a congrats out to Krim and his San Jose Sharks for winning the championship.
Yeah, I think all season long they had a great run. Maybe had just that one bad week where they went like 1-7 or something like that.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, but as soon as they hit the playoffs, I mean, Burrito was on fire. Became a brick wall, and then that mix of great team D and offense was just too much for everybody. So big congratulations to Krim and his crew. well done.
I didn't get to play against them a lot this year. I know a lot of them from that team, who I played with before, but seeing some new faces and how they work together. For instance, seeing Cash Lunk play, he's a pretty dynamic player. I didn't see a lot of mob scene this year, but he played some tremendous D. And of course, with some of the bias I have, I think Burrito played excellent in that series. So I think overall it's a good team effort.
Yeah, I just like they can play any way. They like either way. They can play defensive or they could play a wide open game because I think three of them. I think three of our 5 games were 1-goal games, and one was a 2-goal game, and then the last one they just blew us out. It was like 8.
Yeah,
It was like 8-5. They just killed us.
the other like sort of variable there was they had a good number, like at least 3 guys who could play 3 or 4 different positions, right? So they moved Schlunk around a bit, and he was solid everywhere. They had Hams, who you could play anywhere, except maybe net. I don't know. He let a few in that one game he played net. And then Krim, of course, he can play pretty much any part of the offense, and including goalie. So I saw they mixed it up a bit, when it came down to, making those lines right for the playoffs where you had to meet that quota, and it worked out. So they had a lot of versatility there.
Yeah, because Cass even played a game in net.
Yeah, and he had a great game too.
Yeah,
Yep.
Cass did.
A lot of flexibility with those positions, especially when I know, at least from what I understand, there was some availability issues in the first set of 3 games. So it wasn't a problem for them. They were able to kind of make adjustments and play an equal game of what they would have with the full lineup.
Yeah, and they were a tough opponent. So again, I want to say congrats to them. On winning the championship, they definitely deserved it for sure. Okay, let's go on. Let's go on now to the other awards. We'll start with the season 26 Eastern All Stars.
Drum roll,
You have
please.
that. You have that. You have that
Anybody have a
screen
drum
up
roll? I
there.
don't have a drum roll, but yeah, here it goes. It's up.
All right, you guys can see. I will talk about each one of these, and then Chilltown and Memphis will comment. So you have your. I'll start with from the goalie out. You have Laner as your goalie. You have Bautista from Ottawa on defense, and Memphis from Toronto on defense. And you have Burks on the wing there. You have Habfan on the other wing, and you got our co-host there, Chilltown, at center. So those are your Eastern All-Stars.
Yeah, I don't know what they were thinking about with the center there, but the rest of the
I agree.
the rest of the crew there, great picks, everyone. I actually, looked at the votes because I need to make these slides, and there was a lot of close calls there. So a lot of great options there. But this is a fine selection. So congrats to all the Eastern All-Stars.
Yeah, I mean, this is pretty telling that the center just had a very good season, and I think interchangeably you can throw Vitamin right in my spot on the right side, because Ottawa had just a great combination between goalie, Bautista, Vitamin, even Odd Guy, and Mr. Mad Moose. I mean, defensively they worked really well with Laner, so I think Bautista and Laner certainly deserve to be there. And I like seeing Burks there. I still think he's really one of the more dynamic wings in the league. So I think it was evident with him playing with Sabres and Chilltown on that line. These are some great picks.
Yeah, until those Rangers met those Ottawa Senators in the playoffs. So Chill.
Yeah, I know it's too much for us. But I did want to make a mention. Mentis just said it about Vitamin. Yep. A little surprised to see that he didn't make the list of the final, I guess, vote for. But when you have Batista, Odd Guy, even Moose, I mean, that was a tough selection.
Someone's got to be left out, unfortunately.
Yeah. And I got to see the votes, right? So super close. I mean, within 1 point, I believe, to make that cut. So I just want to make a big shout out to Vitamin and say from previous seasons to this season, just a stellar performance. So again, any one of those guys on Ottawa, all stars. So congrats again, guys.
Absolutely.
Yeah, Yeah, like you were talking about Mantis, I wouldn't sleep on Burks either, because I'll tell the owners right now, you don't sleep on that guy. He's very quiet. You don't hear much about him, but he's got some really soft hands. He's a it's a great team guy too. You
Yeah, I
know,
love playing with Burks, and such a nice
yeah,
guy to be on chat with too.
right.
Both him and Sabers. My whole team's Sliggy, OTH. Just great group of guys. All guys that like to pass and make plays. So it was a lot of fun playing with
Yep.
those guys.
All right. Anything else you guys want to comment on before we go to the West? Are we good?
I think we're good.
Yep.
Okay. All right. So now let's go to your season 26 Western All
There you
Stars.
go.
Okay, we have in net, we got Beer Nuts there from LA. And defense, we have Joe Watt from Calgary and Roscoe Pro from Dallas. And then our front line, we have Zero Pain on the wing, Beats on the other wing, and we have McCack at center.
Yeah. Really happy to see a couple of rookies. I know Roscoe technically isn't a rookie, but this was his. He kind of is, right? So he played, I guess, the international league.
He had a rough go. Yeah. I think he maybe played international. I'm not quite sure, but yeah.
So
he's a rookie.
You got Jojo What and Roscoe, both all-star Team D. So that's awesome to see. I'm really happy to see Beer Nuts taking the top spot for goalie. One of the best goalies, I think, in XBS. And then no surprise to see Zero and Vibe on the wings. Both incredible performances this year. Just crazy amount of talent there. And then of course my favorite center, Mac. Just all around probably one of the two best Frenchmen in XBS. But yeah, no surprise to see Mac at the top spot for the center for the Western All-Star. So congrats to all those guys as well.
Yeah, and I'll start up front. I think kind of a mainstay every season since 24. You see Zero, you see Vibe there on the wings. You kind of expect them to be there with the way they play, and obviously seeing Macaque there. I don't know if there's any better center right now who does it all outside of face-offs, defensive positioning, the ability to find his wingers. I had the luxury of playing with Pierre for the first time actually the other day, and it's and to see it firsthand, he really makes some good plays. So
Yeah, he does.
I think that's kind of like a mainstay if you get those guys to see them here. Defensively, I didn't get to see much of JoJo, but from what I heard, he's pretty solid. He does like to drop the mitts too, so that's a little bit of an incentive or a bonus. Roscoe, I played a little bit with him, so that's a solid choice there. And of course, Bill said I like to see Beer Nuts in goalie. He's one of the most improved players I've seen since I came in season 24. Had a rough go with New Jersey, but every single season he's gotten better. He's been put in good positions, and I think he really kept LA alive through the playoffs.
Yeah, he hated because he, when NHL 20 came out, he hated it.
Oh my God, yeah, he did.
He stuck with it. He stuck with it, and he had a great season. And you mentioned JoJo Watt likes to drop the gloves, and McCack likes dropping the mitts too. So that's something else. That's something else he brings to the game. But I think most of the time he takes fights when we're playing outside the league. I think he takes fights so he can take a little nap while he's in the penalty box. That's my personal opinion. When playing late at night.
You can change the viewpoint in the box now to true broadcast. So I'm hearing around the league, people like to be in the box to get that extra viewpoint.
Yeah, right. So you can change that option now. You're right. Yep. All right. Yeah. Again, congrats to these guys. Congrats to Eastern guy. Congrats to the Western guys. Obviously they deserve it. They were voted in by their peers. So congrats to everyone. Anything else that you guys want to add to these All-Star selections? Or are we good to go?
I think we're
all right.
Good to go to the
all right.
The awards.
All right. Now here we go with the awards. All right. Okay. So we're gonna start with the Art Ross Trophy.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we got that up there, Chill. I'm not watching. I'm just kind of going with the flow.
Art Ross
Okay, so you see right there, you have Zero Pain, who got first place. You got Sabers and you got Cash Slunk. So Zero Pain gets the Art Ross Trophy this season. 26.
Yeah,
So
no surprise there, right? I mean,
yep.
uh, he, there's no surprise also that he broke the record, so you'll see that later on in the show. But just a tremendous amount of points. I think he also played the most games, maybe, but
Yeah, he did play a lot. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, and then of course, shout out to Sabres and Cast. Sabres on my team, just an extraordinary player. You can put him anywhere, also on the front, center, left wing, right wing, and he's focused on making great plays, passing the puck, and just a solid all around guy. And then nice to see a rookie up there as well. So also not a surprise, but Cash Slunk. So congrats to him as well.
Yeah, and you can't say too much else outside of these awards, mainly just because they're stat driven. But I think it was just the numbers that Zero put up this year were just
Ridiculous.
outstanding.
Yeah.
I mean, there were some points, some games there where he was at the 5-6 range, and I'm sure Levins would attest that there's some solid forwards on that team, and it looks like everyone bought into the idea that Zero's going to help drive them, and eventually got them to the playoffs. So good to see that, and glad to see Sabres up there as well. Sabres has the ability to do this when he's got some great guys surrounding him, and with Berkey, Hill, Slick, and OTH, I think this was a good opportunity to show his skill set.
Yeah. Okay. So congrats to those guys. Congrats to Zero Pain for taking on the Alt Ross. Let's get on to the Rocket Richard trophy, which is for most goals in a season. And the viewers can see there. Congrats to Zero Pain once again. And you have the runner-ups. You have the runner-ups there, Vibe Beats and Hab Fan. So congrats to those three choices.
Yeah, again, no surprise that we were going to see Zero and Vibe put up a ton of numbers. Habs, I think, Dusty, you mentioned this a couple of shows ago. He's been kind of sort of flying under the radar, but always putting up solid numbers. But I think, more and more, season 27, you'll see him going, top 5 pick, if not first pick, depending on, what people's priorities are. But just a great all-around player and solid point producer.
Yeah, and I think one thing here that you can say is, if Vibe was able to play a little more games, I wonder if this would be a little bit closer. But I think ultimately one thing I noticed is Habs fan is a goal scorer. We see that here, that he's up there. I'm sure Mike can attest to this, but one thing I noticed playing him probably 40 games this year, being in Toronto, he sets up his team very well. He's not just a shooter. A lot of what he does some perfect dumping to the other side of the ice to his team. That really got us off guard in Toronto a lot. So it's nice to see him here. I just hope everyone can realize that, yeah, he's a goal scorer, but he's also a tremendous setup guy. He set Ottawa up a lot, especially against.
Yeah, and just playing with Hab Fan, he's also very responsible defensively. So not only does he, put the puck in the net, but he's also very responsible in the defensive zone. That's one thing I noticed. I played with him for a few seasons now. I think that was in Toronto, maybe, or Poland. I forget. It was with Dank, and I played with him again this year after I was traded to Ottawa. And he's positionally, he's always in the right spot. Defensively, he's so smart, and he can put the puck in the net. So yeah, he's definitely his draft stock definitely went up for next season. He's gonna be definitely a top 10 pick, maybe top 5, but he's going to be up there. And if he's not, then the owners haven't done their homework. Again, but congrats to Zero, Vibe, and Hab, but for that Rocket Richard Award. All right, let's go on to the Calder.
Yep.
And the winner of the Calder is Cash Lunk. Rookie gets that award. He was followed by Willie Beans and Roscoe Pro. So congrats to Cast on that award.
Yeah, I mean, incredible performance by Cast. I was not surprised to see him win the Calder. Just a great find, a great pick by Krim. I think he took him maybe 4th or 5th round. I think he maybe played with him once or twice and just saw the potential, saw how good he was. So just a solid all-around player, well deserving of the Calder. And then the second and third place also very, very good guys, great production. Roscoe, we saw him in the All-Star team. Didn't play much or against Willie Beans, but the votes speak for themselves. So congrats to him as well.
For me, I played with Cast a lot recently. Not before the season, but currently I played a couple of games with him, and he's really a stand-up guy. He's willing to play anywhere to accommodate his teammates, and I'm sure Krim would attest to that because he played some center, he played some wing, and I think at times he said he could play some D, and obviously in that one game he played a net. So getting that flexibility and still being able to put up the numbers, absolutely deserving of a Calder. I wouldn't say any disrespect to Willie or Roscoe, just because
Mm-hmm.
they absolutely deserve it. But for one thing, I can't remember if Hoodinator is a rookie. I know he played in um, international, but I think Hoodinator is a rookie this year, and I think he was
Check.
tremendous in Florida. Again, it's my goalie bias probably, but if you look at how Florida played down the stretch, Hoodinator really kept them afloat. I thought I might have seen his name on this list, but overall, I think this is really a good indication of some diversity. Willie Beans, from what I understand, is a solid center, and Roscoe is a solid defender. So you're not getting all these wingers, or you're not getting all these specific position guys. We're getting a mix of new guys from different positions.
Yeah, and I'm glad you mentioned the goalies because with the way this game plays, I feel like the goalies deserve a lot of love because just you've seen the goals that go in and how sometimes the goalie reacts. So I'm glad that you mentioned Hootnader, and this goes to all the other goalies out there. I give you guys a lot of credit for
stupid bastard too. I mean, he
yeah.
crazy amount of wins and played really solid. So any one of those goalies.
Yeah, so I mean, again, I want to be alert for these names. If Cast is in the top 10, like Habs,
Oh
I'd
my
be very
God,
surprised
yeah.
next season, right? I mean, he could be top 5. He could be first overall.
Yeah.
He really could be.
He can put him anywhere too. It's crazy.
Yeah, yep, yeah. I play, like I said too. The other night we met this. We were playing when you played with us in McCack, and I don't know if you were in the game, but Cass was playing. I had never played with him before, and he was really enjoyable to play with because he's very good with the sticks and gets himself open and makes some amazing passes. So he's definitely worthy of that Calder. Not that the other guys aren't, but I
Yep,
think he definitely deserves that.
definitely.
And
All right,
you know
let's go
what?
on.
I didn't
Oh yeah,
know
again,
I didn't know anyone could have a thicker French accent than Pierre until I met Cast. So that's
right.
one thing don't get them on the same team. That might be a little tough.
Yeah,
to
we saw that, right,
decipher.
Dusty? We saw them play together,
Yeah,
and that
yeah.
was frightening for the
Well,
other
like I
team.
was saying, if they end up on the same team,
Oh my
the
God.
owners did not do that. Did not do their homework because there's no way Cass and McCack should be on the same team.
Nope.
That'll be forget it. That would be a disaster for the other teams, man. That'd be trouble. All right, so let's go on to the next award, the Lady Bing,
Yep.
and I'm gonna say able to get that for Mentis this season, but I think it's gonna last. So you have myself up there, then and then you have Mentis and you have Bautista. I can, Mentis and Bautista both super great guys as well. So I don't know, if you guys comment on this
Yeah. I mean, I think
and be
Mike,
nice.
you've won it probably like, I don't know, 4 out of
I
the
don't know,
5 seasons I've been
maybe.
here, and I think Mentis won it one of the other ones. So it's not surprising to see both of you up there. I'm glad to see Bautista's up there. Super nice guy.
Mm-hmm.
But of course, everyone's favorite, F Dusty. Congratulations, buddy.
Thanks.
Yeah, obviously, absolutely deserving. I mean, you're always around, willing to help people, and I like to see Bautista on here. He's another guy who, I know this is specifically for hockey, but outside of hockey, any channel we have in our Discord, any questions regarding, anything, he's always willing to help and give you a deep explanation to
Mm-hmm.
help you out. From what I understand, he did a real good job helping Laner last season, knowing Laner wasn't able to make a handful of games, and that goes a long way. So absolutely great to see Bautista on this list.
Yeah, it's funny too. When I vote the Lady Bing, I'm kind of like torn. Do I vote based on like on ice stuff, like because or do you base it on like stuff that you do when I'm voting, do I base it on stuff that guys do outside or both? You know what I'm saying? It's because it's I always go that back and forth in my head about the Lady Bing vote, but
Yeah,
I appreciate guys voting for me. I really do. But
going through some of the stats, well, I guess it was an indication of how it's voted when I got it the year before last, because I'm a
yeah.
goalie, so I don't get penalty minutes to,
Oh yeah.
to speak of,
Right.
and generally goalies don't get it. But I do think, okay, this is generally a hockey award, but I really do think it
Hmm.
needs to be, and how it's been done, kind of examples of, you know, a league-wide type of thing, where it's not just what you do on the ice, it's how
Hmm.
you handle yourself in the league. So I don't have a
Yeah.
problem with that.
Yeah. No, it makes sense. Definitely for sure. All right, let's go. Let's go on to the Frank Selke Award. And surprise, surprise, you guys see Levens up there. Levens is the Frank Selke Award winner, followed by McCack, and this guy Chilltown.
Hey. Yeah, it's nice to get those votes. I appreciate that, guys. But you know, it speaks volumes to sort of see Levens up there. He didn't play center as much as he usually does. He had to sort of bounce around a bit to fill some spots on his team. So just knowing that he didn't play center that much, even though I know the Selke's not really just for centers, but it tends to go to
Hmm.
that defensive. That center is that defensive position.
Right.
Just goes
Yep.
to show you how strong he is as a defensive center. And then again, we talked about Pierre Mack, super strong all-around player. No surprise to see him there as well in second place. So congrats to Levens, and thanks again to the guys for voting me in too. I appreciate that.
I think I've seen this every year since I've been here.
Yeah.
Levens hasn't left this spot. I don't think it's going to change anytime soon. He's really, really helping defensively, and I know he owned this year. So going back to what you said, he could have put himself wherever he wanted to, but he put himself all over the ice, and it's just a testament to wherever he is, regardless of what he's doing, he's able to play um, that extra line of defense for his team, and it showed. They ended up going into the playoffs, and so I think this is certainly deserving. And then Makaka, of course, always on this list. So I don't think you can go wrong either way there. And Phil, we've played a little bit against you this season playing in Toronto, so absolutely deserving votes.
Yeah, it's an impenetrable throw that Chilltown sports on the
That's
ice
true.
that helps
You
his
can't get a
defensive
grip
game.
from the so goal.
No, you can't.
From the so goal.
All right, so congrats to those guys and you too, Chilltown, for getting involved in the Selkie voting. All right, let's go on to the Vezina. And you guys can see the winner of the Vezina in season 26 was Laner, followed by Hootinator and Stupid Bastard.
Yeah, Lehner, I mean, diamond in the rough in terms of like, NHL 20 versus goalies. This is, one of the few that says, I beat NHL 20 because NHL 20 has been beating goalies since it came out. So congrats to Lehner. Put up some impressive numbers as as he always does, right? He's always up there.
Yeah.
But it's great to see two rookies right up there with him. So congrats to Hootinator and my guy Stupid Bastard for some great numbers, great seasons. Well deserving to be in that group.
Yeah, I don't think
Guzman?
there's any argument here until he retires. Laner will probably always capture this award. He just knows how to play the game, and he drafts defensemen very well. And I believe for all the qualifying goalies this season, he's the only one with a sub 3
Yeah.
GAA.
Mm-hmm.
So that really helps in this game. In my opinion, save percentage is kind of out the window in this game, so it's not something I keep track of. It's how many goals you're going to give up in a game, because most of the time from the games I've seen, 2 of them are going to be junk. So if he's under 3 with allowing 1 to 2 junk goals a game, no one's really, penetrating him, and pun intended, because it's later. So I think that's
Ooh.
that's just, yeah, he's always going to be here. But I do like seeing Hootenator on this list and
Mm-hmm.
Stupid Bastard. I've gotten to see them. You guys, those are two deserving candidates. So congratulations.
Yeah, I mean, and I'll comment on later. When we got to the finals, some of the goals that were going in, EA goals on him, he was getting so angry, and I don't blame him because he'd be in position, and there was a few where he either went through him or he hit off and went in. So,
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, no doubt he deserves this award, but man, during the playoffs, he got some bad bounces. But congrats to these three guys for being in the Vezina award voting race. Okay, let's get on to the Norris. And our winner is Bautista, so he grabs the Norris. He's followed by Mentis and KT in the voting.
Yeah,
So,
congratulations, Mentis, making that crew there.
hmm
Bautista, no surprise there. I think I'm going to say it again. I was the one person to say that Bautista was going to break 90 for the season, and he did.
can't get you off the show soon
I
enough.
know. But yeah, I mean, hands down, Batista for me, top defenseman along with KT, Mentis, Odd Guy, to name a few, Vitamin. I think those are my top five right there. Happy Gilmore's in that crew as well, but it could have went to any one of these guys. But I'm glad to see it's Batista, and playing against Mentis, I'm really not surprised, but I'm happily surprised, I guess, to see
It's okay. You
Mentis
can say it.
to see Mentis coming from only ever playing goalie from what I can remember, taking on that defensive role and really excelling at it. So hats off to you, buddy. Congrats. And then of course
Yeah,
KT, he's no stranger to this screen, right? He's
yeah,
he's
that's for sure.
he's consistently one of the top defensemen in the league. That's why I picked him first. So congrats to my buddy KT as well.
Oh yeah, and I don't think there's any argument here. Since I've been in this league, there's I haven't seen an argument for anyone that's played better defense than Bautista and KT. So it could have been either of those guys, but Bautista consistently putting that 90% D rating every year, and he's also lifting up the guys next to him. Okay, so Odd Guy I haven't played with much. They played well together. I did play with Mad Moose in Arizona, and he's one of those guys that will make mistakes, but he will come to you and say, "What you need me to do better? I'll adjust," and he adjusts. So seeing him being able to play with Bautista, Bautista elevated his game. That's where I think the value in the Norris is. It's not just how you play; it's how you benefit the play from your other guys. So that's absolutely deserving. And as far as myself, I mean, I think there are a lot of other guys that are more deserving than I was, but I appreciate all the votes.
Yeah, I would be. I don't want to forget to mention that Bautista did score on later in the playoffs. I don't know if you guys seen that goal, but
Yeah,
it was quite
that
a
was great.
classic, a classic EA goal.
Yeah, that's
But
pretty good.
I'll add something about Bautista. He had a lot of responsibility this season, and he handled it all perfectly. He was doing a lot helping us run Ottawa. He always kept guys positive. He was helping with the lines. Yeah, he just did everything this season. So I'm glad he got this award. I mean, he even played. How many games in net? Maybe 20 or so games in net. Maybe I think. So he was really just did everything for us in Ottawa. So, when I came over there, he just basically was just doing a lot of stuff, helping out later in Ottawa. So I also want to mention that. And yeah, Mentis KT, congrats you Mentis getting second there, and KT, like I said, it's always up there after the Norris. So congrats to those guys there. All right, let's go on to the Heart, and most important to the team. And you can see there, Vibe Beats takes home the Heart this season. So congrats to him, and he's followed by Zero and McCack.
Yeah, I mean, all solid picks there, right? I mean, congrats to Vibe
Mm-hmm.
taking the spot. I think these guys sort of represent sort of the team is built around, sort of the one guy or
Yeah.
the
Mm-hmm.
one or two guys, and Vibe, of course, and like Bentis said, if he played more games, we might see his name pop up more on under these awards, right? But
Mm-hmm.
definitely the crucial piece of that team. Zero as well. You know, breaking those records and and getting Dallas into that playoff spot. A solid season all around, well deserving of those votes. And then of course McCack. So we've talked about him plenty, but you can build a team around him, and he'll always produce. So congrats.
Yeah, and like I touch on that a little bit. What you said, Jill, is between Vibe and Zero, they're both those type of guys that if you can shut one down, more than likely you're going to be able to succeed. That's not a knock on anyone else on their teams, but they're so dynamic that they kind of elevate the game of the guys they're playing with. So I think Vibe is a good pick here, just mainly from what I've seen in the playoffs. And I know these are awards that come before the playoffs, but San Jose did a fantastic job of shutting down Vibe, and there were times where LA didn't know what to do, so they tried to mix it up and put Vibe on another spot, which just kind of shows how important he is to that team. So I think Vibe here is certainly a good choice, but you can also interchange those. Zero, I played with him. He's a really dynamic forward. So I mean, either way, you can go with one of those guys. And obviously, McCock, you see his name everywhere. You can't say anything more for him. I've already talked to him about him all show. So
Really,
that's
enough
just
with that, Mentis. Jeez.
I know, geez.
I do want to. Yeah, I don't know how you guys vote. I'm sure you kind of vote the same way. You kind of piggyback off what you said, Mentis. But when I look at the heart, I said to myself, okay, where would these teams be without these guys? And that's basically how I vote. Like I said to myself, where would LA be without Vibe? Where would Dallas be without Zero? Like so, that's how
Right.
I kind of go about my heart voting. So these guys are definitely great choices. So congrats to Vibe on winning the heart. Okay, now we're gonna get to the this is really the major playoff award that's given out. And as you guys can see, the Conn Smythe is going to go to Cast Schlunk. So our rookie Cast wins the Conn Smythe. So I want to send out congrats to him. That's quite a feat for a rookie.
Yeah.
Um, and just real fast, so guys that don't know, um, in the past we just had the admins vote on the Conn Smythe. But then this season, at the suggestion of Hams, who was the assistant captain in San Jose, he asked us, why don't we see if maybe get the owners involved in the Conn Smythe voting as well. So we tried it this season. We got all the owners involved, not the assistant captains, just the owners. So what we all did, it was the owners, it was myself, it was BBB, it was McCack. Um, we all sent in our top three choices to McCack. So our first choice would get 5 points, our second choice would get 3 points, and our third choice would get 1 point. So once Pierre got everyone's votes in the order they chose them in, he tallied up the numbers, and the resulting numbers were, where Cash Stunt got the most votes. So that's how we went about doing it.
Yeah, I mean, Cast, I think like what we talked about before, him being so versatile, and contributing to different parts of that team, in different ways. Just a tremendous performance in the playoffs, tremendous performance all season. But this award is for the playoffs, so I think well deserving. Congratulations. I think it could have went to a couple of other people too. I think it was pretty close. I want to give a shout out to to Burrito. I think he was probably up there as well in contention for this award. Just a stellar performance in net. So, but yeah, Cash Schlunk. I mean, what more can you say about him? Just an excellent performance all around.
Yeah, he was all over the ice during this series. He was trying to set up his guys. He was playing some tremendous defense. So I think this was a great pick. But you're also right, Joe. There could have been a couple other guys. I think I'm in line with you. I like Burrito. I watched a lot of his games during the playoffs, and he made some really difficult saves in a game that penalizes you for trying to make saves.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I think that is a good call. But anyone on that team, Mob scene played tremendous defense down the stretch. Society interchanged with Hams each game. There was just some solid D, and you would know, Dusty. They kind of
Yeah.
shut you guys down for at least 2 periods in a couple of those games. So
Yeah, I do want to mention, I full disclosure here, I did vote for Burrito as my first choice. I just looked at his numbers, and like he's considering the game and how unfair it is to goalies at times. I looked at his numbers. I think he had 2 shutouts in the playoffs, and just everything else. Just playing against him, he made some great saves against us. So he was my first choice. Nothing against Cast, because Cast absolutely deserves it, but I just felt like Burrito was the best choice for me. So that's just kind of full disclosure there.
Yeah.
Okay, so again, congrats to all the choices there, all the winners. Congrats to all of you on a great season. Let's get down to the records down there. Okay, we have the wins record by a goalie, which Stupid Bastard had 41 wins. So congrats to him. We have Zero Pain with a points record of 195 points, which is just insane. The assist record goes to Sabres with 96 assists this season. And finally, the hits record, which I think there was a count going on this. You got
Yeah, that's right.
I am close has the hit record with 719 hits.
Yeah, it's insane. Yeah, congrats to all the point record breakers. I think Zero and Sabres had a little bit of help with NHL 20 because it's very offensive friendly, but still a tremendous tremendous effort. Congrats to those guys, especially my boy Sabres, for those assists. He helped boost my numbers, of course. So I appreciate that, buddy. And then Stupid Bastard, just a solid performance all year, and getting us that President's Trophy with 41 wins. So super appreciative of his performance, and great to see him break that record. And then I always love seeing people break hit records, and just it's amazing to me to see that many hits. I think I got like 120 this season, and to see someone get 700, unbelievable. So congrats, guys.
I'm going to start with the hits record, just because when Levens broke it last season, I never thought it would be broken again until I realized that Close averaged 12 hits a game. That's absolutely absurd. But and I think in Toronto, I think we only had 360 hits or something like that. So he doubled our team hits. That's crazy. So congrats to Close.
That's crazy.
I'd like to point out on the wins record too. Congratulations, Stupid Bastard, and also Beer Nuts. He broke the record before it was broken by Stupid. So
that's right. Yeah.
Okay.
You have Beer Nuts. Yep, you have Beer Nuts at 40. So congratulations to him as well. And then the points record and assist record. I kind of went back on a lot of those records, and of the top 4, 2 to 3 in almost every offensive category was broken this season. So you'll have 2 or 3 guys in each of those categories now in the all-time records. When it comes to goalies, saves, 2 of our guys jumped up in saves as well on a season. So it just kind of show you the way this game changed last season. Mm-hmm. And those that are either using it to their advantage on the offense or trying to really buckle down and prevent that on the defense or goaltending side. But congratulations to everyone who broke these records.
Yeah. All right. That kind of wraps up the awards. I do want to, again, congratulate all the winners. I want to congratulate the whole league for another successful season. Appreciate all you guys signing up and sticking around, and congrats again, everybody, on those awards and a great season.
Congratulations.
All right, so let's kind of close it up, guys. I think that's enough. Unless anything else you guys want to add about the awards. If not, I'll move on.
Yeah,
we're good, right?
Yep.
Okay. All right. So just to close things out, a few reminders. Again, signups are open. I just want to check. Currently, we're at 58. Let me see if that's changed in the last.
That's crazy. It's only been open for
like
less than 24 hours. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm trying to just go to it real fast and see if it's changed from the 58. I mean, that's a great number. I mean, I'm not too concerned with it. I know we'll get to where we want to be. Again, if anybody you want to refer, we're at 59 now. So we jumped up 1 since the show's been going. So we're at 59 now. So keep those signups coming. Remember to be accurate on them in the availability spot. If you're going to be on a vacation, if you got something going on when you're going to be available for a few nights or whatever, just put that in there. If you haven't done the survey yet, please do the survey. I know all the owners did it, but if you're a player and you haven't done the survey yet, please do it. I want to thank this. This goes out to Krim, who couldn't make it. Krim, who was with me all season and us on the show. So thanks to Krim for doing the show all season. Thanks to you, Chilltown. I'll get to you in a minute, but I want to thank you for doing it all season. You stepped in when Mentis had to kind of step away. He had some things going on that he couldn't commit to doing stuff here. Things in his life going on. So Chill, you stepped in and really did a great job as far as doing the show and getting. Oh, somebody's got a phone call. Doing the show, getting the slides ready. Just getting involved in the show, adding your sense of humor to the show, which was always appreciated. So I definitely want to thank you for doing that all season, and everyone else should thank you as well. And Mentis, I also want to thank you for doing this show and stepping in for us this week, and a couple of your appearances you did as well during this season on the show. So thanks to you as well.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah,
all right, guys.
I had a blast doing it, Dusty. So I appreciate that, and anything I can do to contribute to the league, I'm always willing. So I had a lot of fun. I learned from the best. Thanks, Mentis. So just keeping the torch lit for you. So thanks, guys.
All right. I guess next thing's coming up is we'll get the owners announced. There'll probably be a write up on the website when we get on the when we have our owners chosen. We're pretty close to finalizing our list. And then like I said, keep those signups coming. And we'll also, once we get the owners going, we'll do the draft order. That will be recorded, and you guys will be able to do the draft order on our XBSHL channel on YouTube. All right. I want to say thanks to everyone this season, and we will see you all in season 27.
Thank you.
See you guys.